injuries to the two top players, Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. Sprained knee for Blake Griffin. Chris Paul with a strained groin. No further evaluation yet, and no prognosis yet. But if you look at Memphis, they got away from the way they normally play really early in game one when they started knocking down all those threes. This really seemed to be the first time in the series where they got back to sort of their identity, their DNA as a team. Yes,
they look like Memphis of last year versus the Spurs. They win a lot of games ugly, and that's what they were doing tonight. Like Dennis said, they were inside out instead of outside in. And it's like I was saying earlier, Marc Gasol, he can just help that team in so many aspects of just taking pressure off of Rudy Gay, who's a one-on-one player, and just getting a couple easy buckets here and there.
So can that alone change the series, regardless of the health of the Clippers stars? The fact that the Memphis has gone back to who they are and were effective at it, how much does that change the complexion of the series?
Sometimes you got to get back to the nitty-gritty. And right now they got to get gritty and grimy and go inside and use Marc Gasol and Zebo inside because they just abused him. They took DeAndre out of the game and Blake was in foul trouble early. So that's who they are. They need to go inside, and that makes the game easier for Rudy Gay and Colin. So if they get to the Clippers, when they go to L.A., if they don't do this, they're going to go home with a loss. They're going to be gone fishing. So they need to go back to inside out and play their game like they normally do.
And you heard Vinny Del Negro address the question about DeAndre Jordan's lack of production in this game. And basically he said the other guys, Kenyon Martin and Reggie Evans, were doing a better job on the Memphis Big. So how does that change the dynamic now heading to Game 6 on Friday?
Well, hopefully DeAndre Jordan get home and look himself in the mirror and say, this summer, I was blessed to get a new contract to get out here and play a game I desperately love. Last year, we talked about him scoring all of his points, either dunks or layups in the paint. I don't understand why you're not motivated. I don't understand why you don't want to go out there and be physical and try to get every rebound, try to block every shot.
They're not looking for points out of it.
Exactly. So I think that comes within. I don't think it's a Vinny Del Negro thing or a Chris Paul or Blake. I mean, I don't think you ever have a problem him trying to score or him taking a big shot late in games. It's you, the player. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, this is a great opportunity to play with this team and have a chance to close out a series.
What are the other adjustments ahead for the Clippers now? And again, we're assuming that Griffin and Paul are going to be available to play and relatively healthy. What else do they have to get done?
They have to, Chris Paul, tonight, Memphis, they showed a lot of bodies around him, and he was passing it off to Mo Williams. Mo shot 21 times. That's what Memphis wants him to do. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, they have to get in the paint and do most of their damage.
And we'll see if that happens on Friday night. Again, the Clippers will have another closeout opportunity, but tonight it was Memphis's night. They win it by a dozen. Again, all the inside stats point the Grizzlies' way, and that's exactly the way they want to play. Took just 6 3-pointers, as 3D mentioned, and they win it in the grindhouse fashion that we're accustomed to seeing.
Exactly.
To make it a 3-2 series.